All right, back to our recurring monthly theme of taking your power back and ending the self-abandonment. Today we're just talking about where are you giving your power away and how to take it back. And um, somebody had said something, it was along the lines of like, is it easier to point your finger at somebody else because you know that you can point the finger back at yourself or something? I probably just slaughtered that, and I'm actually going to find the quote. But gosh, it was like, when you point your finger somewhere else, it's because you don't want to take the accountability for yourself. Like, you're not allowing yourself to take your own accountability. It's easier to point the finger and blame because it's too hard to face all of the people that you gave your power to instead of taking your power back for yourself. Um, and so that was the quote that they had said. And I think that there is so much truth to this because I think that it's really hard to look at all the people and be like, oh my gosh, like I let your opinion of me take my power. I let what you said to me that one day take my power away. I put myself on the back burner, put my business on the back burner for a very long time because you made that comment about me. And something that, like, an experience that I had recently was that I was going to do this class at this place, and we had to go through this training, and they had people come in and they had people vote. And this is interesting because I know I've been talking about this month, like having loyalty to yourself and deciding to end putting yourself second and taking your power back and stopping the self abandonment and all of this. And through that whole experience, it ended up being kind of a bad experience for me. And I remember driving home because this was like, remember the loyalty thing, like the universe is always going to test your loyalty to yourself. So leading up to this, I had a lot of experiences where I feel like the universe was testing me and I kind of wasn't recognizing it. I didn't necessarily get into like a woe is me victim mentality. I just was like, well, this is how it is. This is like it. Okay, let's move on. Until this experience for this class. And um I remember after having this experience where we were to audition and they were letting people vote who they wanted to go through. And I remember walking in and one of the other people had filled the room with family. And immediately I felt defeated. And I didn't necessarily have the thought in my head of like, what's the point? But I do remember feeling super sad and super defeated because I was like, well, I'm not going through. I'm going to get voted off the island. And went through that whole process and I did get voted off the island. And I remember driving home that day when we found out. And I remember asking the universe, I was like, okay, universe, what is my lesson here? What am I supposed to learn? And it was to stop putting myself second and stop giving my power away. I knew at this point, like after this all happened, there were a few things that happened afterwards, conversations with people, that it made me realize that I was taking that opportunity because it was easy. It was easy for me to do that, to hop into that class, to be able to teach that because I've been doing it for so long. And the hard route is getting my name out there in breath work because that's truly where my passion lies. My passion lies in the breath work. Breath work has changed my life. It has changed who I am. It has changed me to the very core and given me such a gift and that belief in myself. And for those of you who don't know the story, I can't remember what episode number it was, but I talk about my journey into breath work and how it found me. And it found me at a time that I needed it most. And It is when I realized you can do all of the freaking mindset work in the world, but if you do not get a somatic tool, which breath work is, if you do not have the breath work, you're not going to get further ahead in life because you cannot think your way out of every situation. Breath work allows you to let go of old stories and beliefs within you. And this is what I wanted to help people do. But again, I was giving my power away to other people dictating what I should do, what I would be good at. And that's fine. I was sought out as an individual at this place to step into that audition. And I did that. And the experience gave me exactly what I needed. And that was to know that I needed to take my power back because I know what's good for me. And I can let go of the people pleasing tendencies that came up in that situation of like, well, I'm really good at it. Like, I'd really be helping them out. They need another teacher for this. And I was falling into that trap of people pleasing and picking up their stones. It's not my job to fill their classes. It's not my job to be an instructor because they need more positions filled. And so it's my choice to take my own power back and decide what was best for me and to put myself first. And I just realized that I was letting my ego stand in the way. Like we talked about where how the ego shows us where our work is last week. If you haven't listened to that one, it's a great one. But taking your power back and knowing what is best for you, knowing what you desire. What do I desire? I desire to build a massive breathwork business. I desire to help people tap in to you, to the best version of you, to become her, to release old stories and beliefs and trauma. This is why I sought after. I didn't even seek out, let's be real. Breathwork found me. It was around the time that my dad passed away. It just happened to be a trauma-informed program, which I loved. And so I dove in semi-wholeheartedly for the first month. I was a little like, I don't know what breathwork is. This feels a little woo, but it is science-backed. And that was like what helped me be like, okay, I'm going to try this out. And at first, I'm not going to lie, I felt really weird breathing, knowing that like the mentors were watching us breathe in these breath patterns. But I have released so much trauma. I have expanded my capacity to hold space for my kids' big emotions. And I have become a different person inside. And now it's just like I'm slowly cracking open more and more. So breathwork was actually what opened me up to recognizing where I was putting myself second in my relationship with my husband, and then helping me step into being able to more fully express my needs to him, my needs, my boundaries, all of that. And then now it's cracking me even more open. That makes sense. Cracking me even more open, cracking me open even more into recognizing where I've really been giving my power away and really where I have been abandoning myself in the public, like in social situations. And now I'm learning to take it back. And I learned this lesson a hell of a lot faster, right? There was like 3 experiences in the past couple months, and I have baby stepped it into taking my power back and speaking my truth to each person that I've had this experience with. And then into this situation, not only speaking what my experience was and how it felt to the people, but then taking my power back and saying, actually, this isn't the direction I'm supposed to go. Breath work is what I was meant to do. And I felt like I was so afraid of my power with breath work. This is my purpose. I am so good at it and I love it so much. And this is what I was meant to do. And if I were to sacrifice all of the time that doing that other thing was going to take, it would have taken away from this. So it helped me recognize that this is my direction. This is where I get to take my power back and I get to create the results in my life. I don't let anybody else tell me what I am good at. I think it's great to have other people recognize that in you and decide. But for me, I want to give you some context here so this is making sense. But like when I was in my photography business and I decided I didn't want to do photography anymore because it wasn't lighting me up, I would allow people being like, but you're so good at it. You're so good at this. Like, why would you be quitting this? I let that keep me in it for way longer than it should have. And it's because I was shooting all over myself. Like, oh, I'm good at it. I guess I should be doing this. And so I stayed. And so I want you to start to recognize here. And so now back to like this situation, somebody thought that I would be good at it. And I was. I was really good at it. It just happened to be shitty circumstances and getting voted off the island. And I still could have gone through the training, but it no longer felt aligned. It no longer felt good. And I believe it is because I recognized the lessons that I was being given here is that I was giving my power away to let someone else decide for me what I was good at. And then I was letting my people pleasing sneak in and being like, oh, well, they need me. Like they need my help. And I got to take my power back and decide. And then they get to pick up their own stones and find somebody to take that spot. So I just want you to recognize here, like, you know what is best for you. And sometimes that's scary. And I get scared too. And now I'm building my breathwork business on and offline. And I'm hitting it hard. And it has been amazing. And so I just want you to know that you get to choose to stop giving your power away. That just because somebody else makes a comment of something that you're really good at doesn't mean that that has to be your thing. Now, if you're trying to get an idea of something that you want to do in your life, it's always a great idea to ask other people what they think you're really good at. Like, that's really good. And for me, I've hit this place in my life where I've tried other things and now I have found the thing that I want to do for a very long time, probably forever. But I don't want to say forever because you never know where the journey might take you. But this breath work, it's it for me. Like, it is it for me. I'm damn good at it. I love it. I love holding space for healing. I love helping you create a life that you love with kids in tow. I love watching moms shift from being so overwhelmed and so frustrated and snapping at their kids into a calm. It's not calm all the time. Like, I'll be real. Like, you still have your moments. You're human. But to shift into a more calm version of yourself, the version that shows up and is fully present with your kids, the version of you that's not beating herself up in her mind for every little mistake or never trying something new because you're afraid that you're going to fail. You allow yourself to be a beginner at something. That is what I love seeing moms do. That is what I love helping you with is feel good. I can help you feel good in life, in what you are creating, in motherhood. It doesn't all have to be overwhelming. No, it is not always easy, but it doesn't have to feel bad along the way. I was a very unpresent mom. I was always thinking about the to-do list in my mind when I was trying to hang out with my kids, or I would be thinking about how bad I was at hanging out with my kids. Like, I had that thought, and then I'd be like, what is wrong with me? And I would just have like all these thoughts going in my mind all the time. And I have released a lot of that. I am able to be present and to laugh and to look my kids in their faces and to have a good relationship with my teenagers. And of course, they're teenagers. It's not perfect. It's never going to be. But I just want to give you the permission to know you get to decide what's best for you. And yes, it's really scary to step into your power. But oh, it is so amazing to create a life that you love and to be that example for your kids and to know that there's nothing wrong with you, that you are absolutely worthy exactly as you are. There's so much power in that. And I just want you to know that today. And if you want any help ending the shooting on yourself, ending the people pleasing tendencies, dropping mom guilt. You want to feel good in mom life and in your life. And maybe if you're building a business, like if you want that journey to feel good, please reach out. I have a free breath work in the show notes, and I have all of my links to my Instagram, to my website. I hang out on Instagram a lot, so please send me a DM. I am so open to having a conversation with you, to helping you gain that new perspective and insight so that you can truly create a life you love with kids in tow in a way that feels good for you. And I will talk to you next time.